everyone, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters. So I just thought I'd show you how I store some of my Project Life cards. Those are just little containers that I found at Kmart in their home kitchen section. They are drawer dividers, I think is what they're sold as, bamboo drawer dividers, but they were the perfect size for putting my Project Life cards. So I have one that I have my 3x4s in, and I've got one that I've got my 4x6s in as well. So today I'm going to be decorating some, and I can say Project Life because these are Project Life brand cards, and I'm going to be using a lot of my stuff that I have in my homemade kit. Now, I want to apologise for how ridiculously fast this is. I know that there's a few of my beautiful subscribers that don't enjoy watching super fast videos. I had already made this before we had that conversation. So please let me know down below, what would you rather? A super long video that's not super fast, but that shows you the process on how I do everything. Like if you were going to watch this in maybe only double speed, or maybe if it wasn't sped up at all, it'd be like a 3-hour video. If it was in double speed, I might be able to get it down to maybe an hour, maybe. But in this speed, I can get it to the 20 minutes that it is. But I know that you don't particularly enjoy watching it so fast. I don't know. I'm not sure what's best for you as the viewers. So please let me know what you rather. I don't often do videos this long and this... Well, I was going to say repetitive, so that's why I felt that it was okay to speed it up, because it's sort of the same thing over and over and over again, but a little bit different. So the skills are not hugely taxing on this one. So I figured being fast isn't too bad. But from my understanding of talking to my followers, it's actually not about watching the skill. It's just about like the motion sickness or the fiddliness of your fingers sort of makes your eyes go a bit funny. So please let me know. Please bear with me on this video. I couldn't undo it now because I've already done it since having that conversation. Obviously, the recording was done a lot earlier and I edited all the recording, and I'm now just coming back in to do the voiceover later, but I've already got rid of the original footage, so I couldn't slow it back down again. So I do, yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. So, what am I doing here? Making some cards for, the idea is that I thought Katie might want to use them in her baby album, or if she doesn't, she might want to use it in her everyday album in relation to the baby. Not all of them are actually baby related, like this specific one now could be used just every day. It doesn't say anything to do with babies at all. But some of them will be a bit more about a little boy or about a baby boy. So, lots of washi tape use in this. Well, actually, that's not true. Yes, lots of washi tape use in that I put some washi tape on most of the cards, but the actual quantity of washi tape, not very much used, of course. So hard to use up washi, I tell you. Finishing a roll of washi is a massive achievement, and the only time I seem to even manage it is when I pick one that I don't actually really like and use it for gift wrapping or something like that. So it's not even actually achieving to use the washi for things that are washi related. So what I've just done there is I did 2 layers of the washi there because I didn't like how, you know how sometimes when you put your washi down it's a bit thin and see-through. I wanted to have that thicker, that more true colouring to it, so I put it down in 2 layers. Now that works really well when you've got a flat washi with no pattern, but when you've got a washi that has a pattern, which I do have coming up later on in this video, you can't really do 2 layers because it's really hard to match the pattern up. So I put it onto white paper and then cut it out of that white paper. So still in a strip, so it still looks like washi, but it's almost like pretend washi. So here I'm doing it now, putting my washi down onto some white paper and then cutting it out. Just so that colour is more true to colour, and also where I want to place it on this one, it's a little bit see-through. So it was going to be, you were going to lose the sort of leaf effect that this one has by putting it on top of those other colours. I hope that made sense. So just using the Tombows glue to glue down that piece of acetate. Once that glue dries, it's pretty much not seen. I know that that's always the tricky thing when using acetate bits and pieces. How do you glue them on? Staples work well, but that one's a really thick one. So I was worried that staples would not work well in that particular case. So I just went with the glue and crossed my fingers. But yeah, it worked all right. You can't really see it when it gets to the when it gets dry. I do, of course, show you close-ups at the end and photos as well, I think. So don't stress too much that it's sort of disappearing the minute it's finished. If you are not enjoying watching the process, please feel free to jump to the end and just check out the finished ones. I have a lot of trouble with this string. I'm trying to remember if I kept it in frame yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Because it's baker's twine, I just could not get it to roll nicely. It's because it's thick and yeah. So I ended up putting a piece of double-sided tape straight onto it to help hold it in place. And then using a little bit of Tombows glue again just to help hold it down. Now I probably should have put foam at the other end of that sticker. Oh, it's not actually a sticker, but the other end of that card to help even out the thickness of it, because having the baker's twine underneath one end and then it's stuck flat to the paper at the other end is a little bit skewed, but I think it's okay. I think I get away with it. I think. Fiddling around with this beautiful little die cut butterfly. That was from a die cut swap I participated in, so I don't have that die. Someone else who swapped with me does, but it's gorgeous. And I really wanted it up on foam so it could sit on top of the twine. So I had to have a bit of a fiddle with cutting my foam bits a bit smaller. I do that a lot with my labels now. I never used to, but cutting them in half. I find that I don't use labels very often. They're not something that I really know how to include. Oh, excuse me. But I'm learning that they are really great for a cluster base. And in this particular case, that's what I wanted to do with it, but I wanted it smaller. So just cut it in half. Fussy cutting this cute little fox out of the Echo Park Autumn collection. I can't think of what that autumn collection is called actually, but I'm pretty sure it's from this year. Pretty sure. No, last year. This year. This year. I'm sure it's from this year. Someone tell me. It's cute, whatever it is. I've used it a few times, and not just for autumn. There's a scrapbooking layout. There's two. There's an autumn one that I did use it for autumn on the channel, but there's also a not autumn one that I just used it on a layout for Tom, which is cute. I remembered after I cut out this fox that I actually had some other foxy type things. I think that one's not a fox, it might be a bear or something, that I made from the Stampin' Up fox punch. So I pulled it out as well because I realized that the little fox I fussy cut is kind of small, so it might have been too small for what I wanted. And I wanted a gift tag, but I didn't want it to be cream because the label sticker that I used, or the label ephemera that I used, is white, so I wanted to keep the white happening. So just cut again out of scrap paper. It's not even white on the other side, it's just a piece of scrap that I had in my rubbish bin actually. But it'll work, I'll roll with it. I'm also getting better at mixing white and cream. I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm getting better because there's a lot of collections that don't stay true to that. One in particular is the Simple Stories I Am collection. All their papers are based on cream, but then their ephemera has a white border around it, which at the time really, really bugged me. But I'm slowly getting better at just accepting that it doesn't matter, mix it up, just roll with it. And And the more I look at things when I do mix it up, it actually doesn't look too bad. So I'm slowly getting there. I just tied a little bow in the top of that gift tag. Sometimes I think that's way cuter than leaving the tails hanging out. And sometimes it's nice if you do leave the tails to pop a little bit of glue underneath them so that they look like they're out and flowing, but they're actually staying still. Then I got the Tim Holtz phrase stickers out and just chose one of the phrases and cut it down so it could fit across the tag. So I've done my first 4, and I've got 4 more to go. So you can see why this video needed to be so fast. To do all 8 in one video, it's such a long process. So hopefully as I said, your mind's not going too crazy watching this speed. Making almost like a little figure 8 here, except that I decided that was too much string, so I'm just cutting it down a little bit and going again. And I remembered that I had some baby brads that I found, so I'm just having a look at those and deciding which one I like the best. And I really want to put that in the center so it'll be a bit like a bow, but then I realized, how am I going to attach this if I then want to put a brad on it? So I just used some Tombow glue again, because it does everything. And then I realize with using that brad, I'm a little bit limited in what I embellish the rest of this card with, because that brad's quite a specific color. And I actually have very little in that color. So that tells me when I use my other 3 brads that you saw before, that I will have to, again, be careful with what I embellish with. So I just poked a hole in the card with a big thick needle, so it made the brad easier to go in, and just put some washi tape on the back of that so that the prongs don't get caught on anything when Katie's trying to put it inside a pocket page card. I wanted to use a little bit of washi, but none of them were the right color, so away they went. And I'm going to pop on one of these stickers, but I need a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to back it onto just a piece of white card again, give it a little border. And then I think I'm going to pop it up on foam. Yeah, there we go. And that's about all I do on this one, because, again, I was really limited with the colors. So I think it's going to just keep it simple. What's that? The kiss method, the kiss theory, the kiss something. Keep it simple, stupid. Yep, that's what I'm going for. Although apparently this part's not simple. I was attempting something way too late in the game and gave up on it anyway. I will pop a few rhinestones on. So I've mentioned before that I keep all my rhinestones in this big box. It's awful. It's the worst way to keep rhinestones. If you don't have them in their original packaging, they all fall off, and ugh. I will not be doing that again. I definitely keep my rhinestones in their packaging now, and my enamel dots in their packaging now. I didn't actually make a conscious decision to take them out of their packaging. Just some of them somehow managed to be out of their packaging. I really love that card. That is from the Project Life. No, it's not a Project Life. It's a Kaiser Craft, I think. And base coat. I think it's a Kaiser Craft base coat. I could be wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Kaiser Craft base coat card. Often you can tell if they're Kaiser Craft or Project Life based on the corners. The Project Life corners are like sort of a larger rounded corner, and the Kaiser Craft corners are a lot of a pointier rounded corner, if that made sense. And I think this one is a Kaiser Craft. So just popping all these on, a few embellishments coming off my homemade 12x12 sticker sheet. This is a really simple one again. This one was really quick and easy. So what have I been using from my kit? I've been using my sticker sheet. I've been using my boy collection tub. I've been using my color baggies of ephemeras that I made up. It's amazing how, I know I put heaps into that kit, but it's amazing how even when you make 8 Project Life cards. Oh, yawning away. Sorry again. 8 Project Life cards using your kit. It still doesn't look like you even put a dent in it. So maybe in a few weeks or so after Christmas, I might need to do a bit of a kit update and let you know how much of that I've been using. It's not much, I can tell you right now. I've definitely been using it, but it's not much. If you have been following along at home, Christine, the lovely subscriber Christine, has reminded me of my challenge to use that clock acetate piece from my kit. So I have not forgotten. It is happening. I actually have a really good idea. Well, I think a really good idea for it. I just have to get into it. So don't worry, I will be using it. Again, with the white paper on the washi there, I went to put it straight onto the card, but because it's sort of white with orange with white spots, sticking it down straight onto that dark wood grain, you couldn't see those spots at all. They were kind of lost. So just popping it on the back of some scrap again. This is Christmas scrap, so, you know, as long as it's not see-through, it doesn't even matter. Love how that looks. I think that is so cool. I think this is like my favorite card. And I've been hoarding that super cute robot for ages. So I hope Katie appreciates the use of this robot. I love it. And I've been waiting to use it. And I'm giving it to her. The sacrifices one makes for your sister. Oh, so silly. So just popping him up on some foam and onto this star. The star actually was on pattern paper, but the blue was the wrong color, but I really loved the star, so it's going that way instead. And I think this is the last one. So just wrapping that last little bit of cord that I had left over around and round on the page and tying a little bow. What did I do then? Oh, I decided it was too short, so I got new cord. I'm like, hey, what did I do then? I'm sure I used cord. Yeah, that baker's twine, there wasn't enough, I decided in the end, so I just got some crochet thread. I use crochet thread because I've got quite a decent amount of it. When my mum was first married, I think, so 40 years ago maybe, she crocheted a beautiful bedspread cover thingy. It's not a bedspread because it's not like, it's crochet, so it's not warm, but it's like, you know, one of those throws that you put over top of your duvet or your doona or whatever you call it to look pretty. Anyway, she crocheted one of those that is now being used as a headboard on my bed at home, not at my house, at my mum and dad's home. And she had all this crochet thread, and then she used a lot of it, of course, but there was still a little bit left over. So she actually gave it to me because I was learning how to crochet doilies because I was using those for a project. And yeah, so now I really love the thickness and the quality of the crochet thread, and one spool of crochet thread goes a very long way. So yeah, I'm just slowly using that up. Just to mention, I went and got my real big adult stapler, not my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, to put the staple into that little fox picture there, because it had a pretend staple, and I thought if it's got a pretend one, I wanted to have a real one. All right, so I'm finished, and here they come. I've slowed right down so you can actually look at it and see it properly. Again, apologies for how fast it is. I will remember to endeavour not to do that again. You can still see the glue in this picture. It's not dry, just letting you know that because I know I mentioned it before. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I love the colours. Blue's my favourite colour, so sort of the bluey and tealy things in here just appeal to me. I think these cards are really cute, so hopefully Katie likes them for her album. If she doesn't, she can just give them back to me because I've got boys too, so I can keep using them. Excuse me. The gamble you take when you do this is actually for Tom's album. As much as these are super, super cute, I'm sort of going with a theme in Tom's album. in terms of the Project Life section, I'm using a collection kit. So I don't really want to use these in Tom's album because they don't go with the collection kit that I'm using. So it's a 50-50. So if she decides to pick a theme, then these actually might not be very helpful for her. But if she doesn't pick a theme, then she will be able to use them. So touch wood. Having said that, if they were made for me, I probably would just put them in my album anyway because they're too pretty not to use. I'm a bit OCD like that. I get a bit stuck in my ways as to how I'm having my album look. But anyway, moving on. I hope you enjoyed watching these. Here's the last one. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next time.